Hey, it's
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
new year, new me.
100% back on my bullshit.
Same hat.
Oh my god, who the fuck are you and what the fuck is this?
Who am I? I am Cybrwulf1201, also known as Connor.
And I'm the 2019 version of Kyle with an N, otherwise known as Kylen.
And this is Let's Talk About It, the podcast that nobody asked for, where
That
we get
nobody
to
asked for, probably nobody wants, but fuck it. We're doing it anyway. You thought you got rid of us.
you had
We're back, baby.
welcome back to the podcast where Kylen, Kyle with an N, and I get drunk, do parkour, and talk about random shit. It has been about a month that we've been offline
Month or more, something like that.
doing the holiday stuff and
Mm.
just getting back into the swing of things. I know you just you just started a new semester. I didn't.
Don't rub it in my face. I hate it. But I'm almost done. August 2019, baby. We're getting out of there.
But after much time away, we are finally back and ready to talk about, well, what we did whenever we were gone, I guess.
What did you do?
So my time off pretty much just consisted of me going back and spending some time with my parents, which also meant that I had no internet.
Oof, mood.
And less time than you would think. Yeah, lots of just going to random places around central Louisiana.
No, I feel that 100%.
I was at some points working on a 1201 shot that I was supposed to run last year, but never got around to, number one, finishing or running, and still, since I got back, have not had time to really work on it as other projects have started taking off. But yeah,
New year, new content.
New Year's sort of new content. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was most of my Christmas holiday, the winter solstice holiday. What were you up to during that time?
Well, for our listeners who do not know, I am originally from the southern United States. Now I live in the northeastern United States. And because of my very busy schedule, not an exaggeration, I don't have time to go home and visit my family and friends, except for about twice a year. And the winter break is one of those times. So basically, TSB and I had a month-long tour of the southern United States. We went to 3 different states to see all of our family and friends. And let me tell you, those kinds of vacations are really stressful because it's like, okay, I have a month to see everyone I love and care about. So like, how does this schedule work? Let me get in contact with everyone and figure out, oh, okay, you can meet this day for like 15 minutes. I could squeeze you in there. It's so tough, but it's like so rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
Because when you see those people again, it's like, no time has passed. We're picking up right back where we left off. This is true friendship. So yeah, it was great. I also spent time with my parents, which, same as you, had no internet. And then I spent some time with friends and other family and friends. We had a rare meeting. We got to meet up in person again. for New Year's,
We did.
which was fun. We had a lot of friends meeting up who hadn't seen each other in a while, and we got really drunk, played lots of games,
Lots of Jackbox.
lots of Jackbox, and lots of Secret Hitler, which, by the way, I'm going to come out and say it. Secret Hitler has it out for me. I don't like that game because it's very biased against me, and I always get fascist cards.
But Kylen, are you a fascist?
I'm not a fascist. Let's set this straight right now. I'm not a fascist. Oh my god, that game was so bad for my social anxiety because it was like all my friends hate me. I'm the fascist every time.
Oh no! Whenever you draw the fascists, oh, it's so hard because I hate lying.
I am so bad at lying. Like, my poker face is so bad because my reaction is to laugh and smile at everything. So I was just like, I'm not a fascist. Oh my god. It got to one point, because, New Year's holidays, we were drinking, that I didn't even try to lie anymore. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably a fascist. What are you gonna do? Kill me? There was one point where I looked at Connor's eyes for like 5 minutes and was like, shoot me. Shoot me. You know you want to. Shoot me. Do it. Shoot
Did
me.
I?
Yes,
I did.
you did. Remember, we had enough fascist shit to, like, where you could, like, shoot someone, and I just, like, was looking in the eyes. I'm like, do it.
Oh, that's right. I was also a fascist during that round.
Were you?
I think so.
No. It was me and TSB and someone else. I think you were a good liberal.
Huh.
Because if you were a fascist, you wouldn't shoot me, right?
I mean, if you were below my cover, then yeah.
I mean, that probably would have been the best move. The best
I
way.
know at one point I was Hitler and I did win.
Yeah, I think I won like once, but God, we played that game like 6 times, and I was a fascist 5 out of 6 times. Like, it got to the point where I was just like, fuck it. I am being profiled, and they're right most of the time. It was bad. Like, it was just like, oh God, this is so bad for my self-esteem. But,
But I mean, if you're ever in person with a whole bunch of people that you enjoy and you can pick up on the social cues of, Secret Hitler was a wonderful, wonderful game to play.
Yes, true. We also played lots of Jackbox party games, which I always love. Those are always so good. Like, we played not the newest one, but like the second newest one, and that was great.
Jackbox Party Mix 4.
I think so, yeah.
It's got like the monster dating and.
Oh my god, the monster dating game was so much fun.
I am so upset because at one point, Ginger Benji, good friend of the channel, was a werewolf.
Friend of the channel, Ginger Benji.
Ginger Benji was a werewolf, and I like out of game. It was just like
out of game, got a boner.
Ginger Benji. I am this username. Let's bone. In game.
Out of game.
But like my character was was Monster Hunter, and so his whole thing was if he bones a werewolf, he wins. Or like gets extra hearts. But like it played so much to my character. Like me as Cybrwulf1201, me as Connor. And I was so upset because the game disconnected at some point.
Yes, it disconnected all of us.
And so I couldn't bone a werewolf and get my extra hearts, and I was so upset.
Ooh, let Connor smooch wolves.
But at one point, I was a pea pod looking shapeshifter,
Oh my god, I remember that because the
and
little
screwed you over so
yes,
bad.
oh my god, I was winning that game, and the little like what is it? Body changer, shapeshifter, body snatcher, body stealer, something like that. It like takes hearts from the person with the hearts that they date, and you stole my hearts. And so I made sure to text you every night in that game and be like, "You ugly pea pod motherfucker, you ball sack looking motherfucker." uh,
Lots of good times. Lots of
and
good
of
times
course
to have.
there was Fibbage, which is a classic. But I really what I really love is the Fibbage like Friends edition, where it's all about your friends and what they put. I was a beast at that game.
I was not.
But I'm just funny as shit.
If I do say so myself.
I'm also really humble. But yeah, no, it was it was so great. I really do love getting to come home whenever I have a chance, which is not that often, and seeing people. Because I'm very grateful for my friends because we do a lot to stay in contact despite the distance. So it's not that bad being apart, but whenever we are together, it's just like, God, yes.
At one point, the plan was over that New Year's excursion to record a Let's Talk About It, but there was just a lot going on, and it just felt better to just like be in the moment, spend time with
Yeah.
people, not worry about like making content.
We also got like too drunk, I think, probably.
We got just drunk enough, but like we were never drunk at the same time. Like I went a little bit too hard that first night, or yeah, that first night. You went a little hard the second night. Then by New Year's, we were just like,
me drinking, drunk. It was also an interesting situation because we had like 8 people staying in an apartment for 2 people. We did have grand plans to have everyone have a little guest spot, but it like you said, it was more fun to be in the moment. But who knows? Maybe for our 2-year anniversary or whatever.
Our 2-year anniversary.
Wait, how long have we been doing this? Do you remember?
The very first episode was on Labor Day weekend.
Okay, so not 2 years, like a 1.5 year anniversary, something like that.
If you go back and listen to that very first, very cringy, very unproduced episode.
Oh, that's right. Of course it was Labor Day weekend. That's when you came to visit.
Yeah. If you go back and watch that very first episode, we do mention the origins of Let's Talk About It, and that person whose wedding we had the idea to start this podcast. That was the person that we were saying at those peeps.
Speaking of which, for our loyal Latires,
our speakeasies.
For those who remember from the first episode, from our origin story, the butter wine, we found out
there's more.
There's
more brands.
There is more in that line. Like, I think it was like bread.
Toast.
Oh, it was toast and like jam wine.
There is butter, it's toast, and it's jam. And they all sound freaking disgusting. We've only had butter, and it sucks.
Okay, but like, the only one I would give a pass to is jam, because at least that's like a fruit.
Fruity, yeah.
But butter, disgusting. Bread, I'm low-key curious, but I love bread. So
I mean, I figure it's toast because like you
toast.
Line to like have a toast. You make a toast to someone.
Or you eat a piece of toast that you can put butter and jam on.
Damn it, now I really want some toast.
Oh no, I'm so full because okay. TSB's mom is fantastic, and she like stays ordering us stuff. But this time she went too far, and she got us a deep fryer,
Oh.
which is fantastic but terrible for my waistline. So anyway, all that to say, bless. That I had some fries tonight, and they were delicious. So I'm not hungry anymore, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah. I baked some popcorn chicken earlier, and that's pretty much all I eat today.
Oh my god, I had a stuffed crust pizza, which is like so good, and I never get to have one.
I was planning to order a fat booty pizza today.
Booty pizza!
Well, I was going to say fat ass pizza, but I forgot that we don't really care about what we say. Sober Connor will just censor it out with even worse words.
Wow, it's like we forgot what this show was.
I mean, this is what happens whenever we go on a month-long break. What are we going to do in between seasons?
Oh, this is a new season?
No,
Oh,
this is not. This is not a new season. This is still season 1.
oh my god. This must be very disorienting for our viewers.
Our wonderful listeners.
Oh yeah,
Talkers.
there's hardly a visual aspect to this podcast, but there kind of is sometimes. There were little nuggets.
Little bits of flair.
Throw in some flair right now, Sober Connor. Just like just a little bit though. Don't overwork yourself.
He's throwing in the fire elemental from the Dragon Knights game.
Yes.
Yes, flair.
Yes, Flair, slay.
Slay us. So yeah, that was New Year's. Most of New Year's.
This is the new year.
This is the new year. Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, I had some New Year's resolutions, and you know what? I never normally do New Year's resolutions because, excuse me, usually the little like goblin voice inside my brain that like tells me bad things about myself is like, fuck, kill it.
Stop me.
But yeah, so that voice in my brain usually tells me, hey, don't make New Year's resolutions because you'll never keep them, and then you're gonna get like disappointed with yourself. Well, this year I told it to shove off, and so I posted my New Year's resolutions on Twitter to hold myself accountable.
Sober Connor, pull up that tweet.
Oh, I gotta find it. Tell me your New Year's resolutions first, if you remember.
Let's see. I actually did. I have that same goblin voice, and I did not make any New Year's resolutions, but some Connor lore, some cyber lore. I was raised in a good Catholic upbringing. Finished my catechism and everything. I don't typically make New Year's resolutions. I usually try to pick up something or drop something for Lent, but that's not going to be for about another month. So.
So you're in the process of planning things for Lent, maybe?
Yeah. By the way, I am not Catholic. I do not claim to be a good Catholic.
Well, at least you were like kind of raised Catholic, because I remember we had some friends in college who were nowhere close to being raised Catholic and were very much like atheist and agnostic, but they were like, oh yeah, it's Lent, time to start a diet plan. I'm just like, are you like co-opting this religious holiday for your diet? That's kind of weird.
I mean, if you take up something to better yourself, I mean, I can't find fault in that, even if it's not part of your religion.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It just seemed like low-key a little weird because they were like very vehemently anti-religion. in Christianity. So that's the only reason I found it weird. But
Yeah.
anyways, I found my tweet.
You found your tweet.
I
Awesome.
found my tweet.
First off, message that to me so Cybrwulf can post it later.
Ah. Oh god, that was probably a jarring noise. Here, I'll just send you the whole thread because it's nice.
As long as you send the first one, I should be able to pick up the rest.
Yeah. So
Kylen shared a tweet with me.
I started the thread by talking about the things that I did in 2018 that I never would have expected. Honestly, let's start that off. Yeah. 2018 got a little weird for me. Because like I was like anonymous internet user, and then all of a sudden like a lot of people know my real last name, and like well, they don't necessarily call me by my real last name, but a bastardization of my real last name. And now I'm like also on the internet where people can like see my face and hear my voice. And sometimes I'm drunk when I do those things. So like anyways, so what I'm saying is more people know me now, and you know, for the person with the goblin voice in their brain, that's a lot sometimes. Yeah. But it's also good. So in 2018, I basically became a part of like this online community of like critters and also just like tabletop RPG players, and it was cool because they were like really nice to me, even though I felt like I didn't deserve it because I was just a person with a weird name who asked questions. What the fuck? But that's what happened, and it's been nice because I've made new friends through that outlet, which personally is not, it is, you know, if we want to be honest, a little hard for me because I'm like shy.
Yeah, it's really, number one, it's hard for people like outside of undergrad to make friends.
How do adults make friends?
How do adults make friends?
Like, comment, and subscribe if you know the secret.
And then you and I are both very introverted people, so.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, so, thank God for social media. So like, I can be a little social, but even sometimes that's a little too much. But yeah, so that like happened to me, and that was like weird, but like cool at the same time because I met a lot of cool people. Oh, and I started like being on streams and shit, which was like weird. Because that was not something I ever pictured myself doing, but you know, honestly, I saw what you were doing, and I got bit by the bug, and I was like, I want to do that too. I want to play games with people on the internet. That sounds like fun. So I did. And I also started my own Twitch channel. What the fuck?
You and me both.
Oh my god, you also did that. Like at the beginning of 2018, I think.
Yeah, I didn't start my Twitch channel. I just started streaming on it. If that makes sense. Like I done 3 streams beforehand. One of them was this was fall of 2016. I started the Twitch channel, and that was just because I told somebody that I had interned with that, like, hey, I think I kind of want to do this, so I'm just going to do it. That's just how I operate. I say that I'm going to do something, and I at least try it for like 1 or 2 times. And that's how I started my Twitch channel, and then I just stopped it for a while. And I think I've said the story of my decision making to actually start doing it again. And then it just sort of picked up momentum from there. And yeah,
Yes, King.
we built all of this. All this is still very, very, very small, very, very intimate, and very friendly right now.
Intimate, you say?
Well, they had to wait until we have enough money to do a let's talk about it after dark for that.
Let's talk about it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see an even worse version of this. Yeah. No, but those were the things I accomplished in 2018, which I thought were neat. But my resolutions were...
Yeah, let's finally talk about those.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Oh my God, the amount of lag. Thank God this is only a podcast because we would get demonetized and this was a video. With the amount of lag you just served.
My New Year's resolution is to actually put this up on the podcast sites. Because right now it's just YouTube.
Like, comment, and subscribe to hold Connor accountable.
No.
Okay, but enough about you. Let's talk about me. Let's see. New Year's resolutions. This year, I want to graduate. That's honestly number one.
Absolutely.
I am so fucking tired of being in school since I've been in school my entire life into this point with no break. I'm sick and fucking tired of it. Like, now that the end is like so close, I have the biggest case of senioritis I've ever had. It's just like, please God, let me get out of here. But I also don't want to do anything, so it's just awful. But yeah, I want to graduate, and I want to start a fucking job and make fucking money. Because being a graduate student sucks. You make no money. But, enough about that shit. I also want to try and reach Twitch affiliate this year. I was like...
You're really close right now.
Yeah, I'm really close. I'm like 9 followers away. And I had gotten all the other achievements in December. However, since I didn't stream during December and January, I lost all that shit. So boo. So I gotta find time to get those other achievements again. But we'll get to it. That's fine. I'll find time eventually. So yeah. If you do want to follow me on Twitch and haven't already.
We already have the links down in the doobly-doo.
And plus, it's free. And maybe I can make money one day. I don't count on it because I wouldn't want anyone to sub to my channel because I don't stream consistently enough to warrant that. But, if you wanted to give me bits or something, I wouldn't mind. Basically, give me money.
We will also drop that PayPal link in the description.
No. See, I don't do enough to warrant dropping a PayPal. I don't have any discernible talents. But anywho, number 3, I do want to play in more online and offline campaigns, which we won't talk about this yet, but I'm making progress towards that.
We might be able to talk about it a little bit.
We could talk about it in a minute. But first, let's finish talking about me.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. Also, this is an ambitious one, but I would like to maybe DM my first campaign this year. I've
Yeah.
only ever DM'd one shot, so
You
I
won.
don't know how feasible that is. Of
You
course,
won.
what?
You won.
This is my legacy. Shitty voice acting for random ass NPCs. Uh, of course, this campaign would definitely be offline because I am not confident enough to stream anything. And plus, not everything has to be content. I can have a life outside of that. So, but yeah, I would like to try my hands at DMing some 5e because, that is the system I am most comfortable with for sure. I also want to try my hand at learning to DM Ryutama, which is a very cute, wholesome game that I think is interesting.
Yeah.
But probably D&D first is going to be my first foray into the long-term DMing world. And my last two resolutions are more like simple personal goals. I want to read more books for fun
Mm-hmm.
because anytime I read nowadays, it's like academic articles and textbooks, which are boring. And I just want to like cook more because, eating pizza rolls and getting like takeout all the time is, something, but like making a cute little pot roast is another. So that's me. That's my 2019. Maybe if I decide to stick to that, which I put it on Twitter, so maybe people can like tell me to do better.
Yeah. You also went to your first convention where you actively set out to meet people and let people meet you.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's
true.
that's the thing you did.
Yeah, I met some people, and I mean a whole
We,
lot of people. I mean, I met all the people that like asked to meet with me, and I did
and
that.
we've kind of talked about that also in earlier episodes. So
Yeah, so that was a little social anxiety that was overcame. And oh, hey, if you just listen to this podcast and don't read my Twitter for some reason, which what the fuck? How did you find this podcast?
please
Um,
let me know, and we'll
we're
start promoting more that way.
like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, uh, it's Connor and I are heading back to Gen Con this year.
Woo!
Yay!
Gen Con!
I'm very excited for that. Gen Con year one was super fun. Loved the heck out of it. So I'm really excited to go back this year and actually know what I'm doing and meet even more people because a whole new crew of people that didn't come last year coming this year. Like pretty much the whole indoor
A
adventure
lot of the indoor adventure crew.
are coming to Gen Con and staying at the same hotel as us because Connor's great at coordinating. So that's
Well,
going to be awesome.
other people in the indoor adventure community are good at coordinating. We just
Okay.
happen to like choose the hotel first.
Okay, well, you're good at passing the message along, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so that's going to be great. And I'm seeing some other people that we saw last year, like the High Shelf Gaming crew. It's going to be great to see them again. And, whoever else we meet and see along the way.
Yeah.
Excited for all that jazz. Oh, and I'm flying this year, so I don't have to put up with that bullshit 21-hour drive or whatever it was.
Yes. But also that means we had to spend so much money on Lyft.
That's true. I mean, we already spent a good deal of money on Lyft because we didn't get a parking pass.
Oh man.
But luckily, Gen Con and Lyft have a pretty good deal, I would say, together. So it's less money.
Yeah.
But that's probably it for 2019 goals and those things. So how about we take like a quick break because my wine glass is empty.
Well, this is not a wine glass. This is just a regular drink glass that I filled with Monster and gin.
Oh my God, we forgot to talk about what we were drinking.
That's what we're doing right now.
Oh, I was drinking wine. I was drinking White Zinfandel.
White Zinfandel. Nice.
Which isn't even white, it's like pink. So what the fuck?
Entirely a misnomer.
But
Do better, wine namers.
Earlier, so quick aside, then we will take a break, I swear to God.
And figure out what break music we're playing.
Yes, think about the break music while I tell the story. So I went to pick up some liquor because my house was all out of liquor. And right next to the liquor store, there happens to be a coffee shop. So I finished buying the liquor and I was like, it would be good, some coffee. So I went to the coffee shop, got myself a coffee. And then when I got home, I was like, this is cinnamon flavored coffee. You know what would be good in this coffee?
Fireball.
Well, I didn't have Fireball, but I did have some rum. And I happened to pour just the right amount of rum. It was almost too much, but it was like the perfect amount of burn. It was so delicious. And honestly, this is why I am where I'm at right now.
Yes. I'm always a fan of, by the way, this is horrible advice. Don't do this. Do not listen to me. But
don't listen to us.
I am always a fan of mixing very high caffeinated drinks with liquor because number one, you feel nice without falling asleep, and number two, they never seem to give me a hangover, which I appreciate.
Uppers and downers, baby.
Uppers and downers. Please don't do that because that's very unhealthy and you may die.
Bad. Don't listen to us. We're bad.
But
listen to our podcast, but don't listen to our word.
Yeah, we're way too drunk to actually give advice. But I think we will be right back as we decide to go on break.
What are we going to do for the break?
Because it is royalty free. How about this wonderful track provided by not a friend of ours, but I'm a fan of hers, Glitch X City. There you go.
Yeah, then we'll put a nice, lovely little image here.
Of
maybe we'll put a nice, lovely image of a vacuum cleaner because that's what my eyes landed on.
Woo! All right, we'll be right back. P.S.
Welcome back to your favorite family-friendly podcast.
Yeah, we couldn't think of a cold open.
Maybe we'll edit this out. Put some nice, friendly trumpet noises over it or something.
Nice legs, DZ Dukes, mix them and go Duke.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Those of you who come to this know that Kylen and I really like role-playing games. And for a certain amount of people, this is they would categorize this as a role-playing game podcast. We're doing games this year. We actually just finished a game.
We did finish a game like last week. Oh my God.
it has actually been 1 week and a few hours since we finished that game. This was the first streamed campaign that we've done.
Yes, both of us.
Yeah. Oof. Dragon Knights.
Oh my god, that was tough for me to finish because it's like this has been pretty much a fairly weekly thing for me since like August, and now it's done, and I gotta like pack that character away so they're no longer in my headspace. That's tough.
How have you dealt with the ending? Like
Oh my gosh.
with
Knowing
with how
me,
Zephyr's story has ended.
knowing me, the bitch with anxiety, I have replayed everything like 100 times over and thought about how I could have done something differently because that's that's the bitch I am. Like, but it's I still enjoyed everything, but like I always do that shit anyway. I always like second guess myself. I'm always like, was this the right choice? Did I fuck up? What could I have done differently? How would it have gone if I had done this? What if I did this like 10 sessions ago? Maybe would have ended up differently. That's just me and my brain. But I try not to let that detract from my overall enjoyment because, that goblin voice is always going to be in my brain, which, no disrespect to goblins. We love you not, and we love you blob. But, you
Bang,
know,
one blop.
we
One
do
Dion
stand a blob.
song.
We do stand a Dion Blob song. Um, but yeah, that shitty goblin voice is always going to be part of me. And, like, especially in games, like role-playing games, which take that brain where that goblin voice occupies. So it's always going to tell you shitty things, and then you just got to tell it like, shut up. No, it's fun. Stop. But yeah, no, I very much enjoyed that game. I very much enjoyed the people in that game. I very much enjoyed the characters. I very much enjoyed the DM. I very much enjoyed the people who watched the game. I enjoyed every step of the way. So it's sad that it's over.
Oh, same.
Like,
I've never had a game that has affected me so much outside of it.
well, you just had so much in-game shit thrown at you because you were like, yes, here's my character, and here's all my character's family backstory. And it was like, Pro is like, cool, 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 cool. So I have all these knives that I can use to stab you with. And, like, sometimes that's tough. Like, honestly, let's be honest, it's sometimes tough to separate your headspace from the character's headspace. Sometimes there's an overlap. And, that's why I think decompressing after games, especially those emotional games, is important.
Yeah.
Because sometimes. Oh, go on, go on.
ProStar did throw a lot at Isabel. A lot.
Yes, you had like the most family and shit in your backstory, so I think that's why you had so many knives stabbed into you.
But like whenever I made the character, I was just like, okay, this is going to be a longer term string campaign. I want to make something that's like, and I've mentioned this in a previous Let's Talk About It. Excuse me. I really like Evelyn Marthane and Strick's last name could be a spoiler depending on where you are in Dice Camera Action. I really like these characters. I want to make something that's like sort of derivative from both of those. As just like a character that I can feel good playing. And I forgot that I was playing on Prairie Star.
Who was rebranded to Pro Drama Club. If that tells you anything.
Drama Club after our little 2 seasons.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. The moments that have affected me the most and giving me the most to think about outside of the game weren't things that happened, but things that were retconned to never have happened.
Oh, that's so tough. Prefacing this with anytime time travel gets involved, everything always gets fucky. So like that time travel is just always like interesting, I think, dramatic and fun, but tough.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's funny us talking about this whenever Where's My Dingus has actually told us shouts to Where's My Dingus, Dingo, we love you.
Friend of the channel, Dingo.
whenever they wrote the backstory for Blop, they made their father a small-time traveling bard. Not a small time-traveling bard.
Oh my god, I had the best laugh over that at the end because it was so funny. We just called this really emotional episode, and Dingo was just like, "Oh, by the way, that was a mistake." And I went and I told that shit to TSB, and he laughed until he cried, which is an accomplishment. He laughed so fucking hard, but it was so great because it was like this drew so much of like the plot and everything, and it was like a little bit of a mistake. But
not even a mistake. It's just a lack of commas, of hyphens, of other things. Like
punctuation is so important, y'all.
So important.
But like, where would that campaign have been if there was no time travel? Like, totally different direction, right?
Absolutely. Probably would have saved a significant portion of my psyche, but
oh, worm. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, Isabel was like, poor sweet Panic Princess was so screwed over during that game. So screwed over, because like everyone else was, I think, relatively cool with it. Block was cool.
Okay, let me interject right here.
Oh yeah, go on.
Whenever we say screwed over, neither Kylen and I, we're not blaming anything on Pro Restarter, on Dingo, on Haley, on PB. We're like, this is just
no. This is all the fiction. This is all narrative.
This is all narrative. This is just the sequence of choices that happen. We don't blame anybody, and we are both like laughing and crying and loving everything that happened.
I'm the bitch who loves drama and bad choices. That's my MO now. That's what everyone knows me for, is for the bitch that makes bad choices. Zephyr is bad choices, man. But yes. Yeah, good disclaimer. But what was I saying?
You were saying well, I'll throw it back to like Isabel was so screwed over. That was your last statement.
Yes, you were so screwed over with the whole concept of time travel. Like every other, I think, like Block was okay with it to a point. Time travel. Zephyr was okay with it. He saw time travel as a tool. I think Odie was just like, whatever. But like Isabel was like, oh my god, every time you guys try and travel, you like fuck me over. Could you not?
Yeah, so Isabel had like a whole like 3 episode arc on like exploring every one of her relationships and everything that was involved in her backstory. And then we ended up like at her mother's house, at her manor, and all of us except for the time traveler, uh, Blop, fell. We failed a deck state and we fell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like PR, he was like, okay, if you time Blop, if you time travel, you'll know.
Well, let me preface this real quick with saying that Blop and Zephyr had a conversation because Zephyr, being the shitty person that he is, well, shitty to an extent, but practical, was like, hey, this kind of seems like a suicide mission. Hey, Blop, promise me if something happens to the 3 of us and you're the only one left, go back and make sure we never came to Brewer, because it doesn't seem like we're on the right path right now.
Which like is a great and logical thing to make happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good thing to put out there. We had a contingency.
Yeah, so I put that ball in Blob's court, and Blob was like, well, okay, I guess, Zephyr. God, you asked so much of me. And turns out that exact situation happened. So, back to you.
PR was like, hey, look, Blop, if you time travel right now and don't like go check on your friends, that's great. This tentacle monster is like coming out. You have a chance to like close it off and not let this world be devoured. What do you do? I was like, I don't know that they're alive. I think they're dead. Let me hop back. This doesn't matter.
Good choice. Excellent choice.
Great. And so Isabel was never engaged. She never like figured out what was going on with her family. She never met up with her brother and made amends. It was all great. And it took me so long to get over it and reconcile that, like, okay, none of this has happened. None of this character growth fulfillment has happened.
Knives.
Well, what am I doing? And I'm like, okay, I know where I am. I know how I'm going to reconcile this, which was all like whenever this place finally like gets destroyed and Isabel loses everything, she'll tap into more of her Winter Eladrin heritage, and she'll just be real sad, but she'll like physically be able to show that, and that's how I'm like, okay, this is something cool that I can manifest, and this is how I can continue with this, saying that like, oh well, look, my character grew a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the finale happens.
Oh.
And we go through this like great coronation scene where like Isabel talks to our big bad evil guy, who happens to be like her adopted grandfather.
Ooh, spoilers. We should have prefaced this whole thing with like spoilers, but
If y'all want to catch them on Dragon Knights, Prairie Star's YouTube channel is like down in the description. You can check out.
I just imagine some like random Joe Schmo listening to this and be like, I never want to listen to Dragon Knights. Now you spoiled the whole thing for me.
I mean, if you want a good recap, there you go. It's not a great recap because we never hit on any of the high points, but if you want to listen to like what Kylen and I have to say about it, there you go. But like Prairie Star had like this great like scene where like that big bad evil guy that we had started the season with dying to, Isabel had like talked to and gotten to like die on the end of her sword in like one hit. Like he accepted everything, and like there was this great scene where like she had become like queen of the Dragon Knights and had this wonderful speech that she probably shouldn't have because her wisdom was not as high as I was probably role playing. But uh, everything's fine. It was a good moment, and like she had this good moment where she was like ascending to be a queen, establishing like taking on that mantle of the royal noble that she was meant to be, and like, okay, now we are ready to fight the big bad evil guy. And Zephyr goes in the past and like prevents anything from happening.
Yeah. Zephyr does his Zephyr thing, and
Zephyr split the party and like
Zephyr does his Zephyr thing, which, to be fair, was not my original intention. Let's throw this out here. Let's throw it out here.
Oh yeah, like Pro started gave us like a few options. Like he gave us a few enemies that like you and Dingo like went off and like pursued, going back in time and like stopping things from ever happening.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything resolved itself. Like y'all went to the past and stopped like this conflict from ever like bubbling forward and spiraling into the gigantic mess that it was at the beginning of the story.
But that only had the side effects of me and Blop being ripped from time, and then Isabel's always backstory changing. But
Which, I totally didn't read as Isabel being ripped from time or whatever. I'm taking a long sip of my drink right now. I say this for our audio cast listeners.
It's a small price to pay, but like, yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, damn, I'm here. Oh, fuck it, might as well do it. But I would love to see, which Pro Restarter says he listens to the podcast, so if he's listening, listen well. My dream is to one day, when we all have the time, go and do a one-shot, because tinfoil. I remember him saying in the episode that if either Abasi, which is Zephyr, before he was reincarnated however many times, or Dion, which was Blop's
father,
dad, not in the original timeline, but one in the other timelines, was to die, there would be a flux and a paradox would be created. Therefore, the timelines would split. There would be two alternate versions, meaning that another version where Dion didn't die, because spoilers, that's what happened. Dion was killed, would exist. So I would love a one-shot where things pick back up, but Dion isn't killed, and we decide to go fight the big bad guy. That's something I would love to do one day.
I would love to see Isabel after the coronation.
Yes.
Because
yes, queen.
Once again, this isn't like a jab at any of the other players or the DM.
If anything, it's a jab at me. But yes, go on.
But like this is 100% not a jab at Kylen.
It's 200% a jab at Kylen.
I mean, if you want to take it, go ahead. You are here to defend yourself. After that coronation, Isabel didn't really have a choice, or like didn't really have anything to do for the rest of the episode, and didn't really have any say in what was going on because like everybody left.
Yeah,
Isabel and Odie.
Yeah, it was like fuck.
So we really didn't get to like flex like, oh, well, I just got coronated and I have this like cool new sword. Let me use it on. Oh, I just got. None of this ever happened.
I just wish it would have been like an all-day session. That we had so much more time to plan than we did because, Blop and Zephyr, not the sharpest tools in the shed. Very, very impulsive.
Just the ones with the most power.
Yeah, very impulsive, not the sharpest tools in the shed, have more power than should probably be given to them. And then like Odie and Isabel being like, let's read books. Oh wait, this book just told us everything. It's like, oh, already fucked with time. Oh, now I'm dead. But you know what was so funny? You know what was so funny? Like, honestly, high-key funny for me. I laughed so loud.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Whenever Dingo / Blop was like, oh, I'm going to give Isabel this note, and they didn't have the note anymore. I couldn't do it. I wrote that whole ass note, and it never got read, which is honestly for the best.
But she gave the TLDR, which was that Zephyr was in love with her. Which she was just like, cheese and avocado, thanks.
Yeah, true. It never would have worked. So it's for the best that he was like ripped from time.
And now, yeah, Zephyr was ripped from time. Isabel, as she currently exists in that timeline, is not the character that we've seen throughout the campaign.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's all good. There's no
But,
Isabel, but there's
honestly,
no anybody else.
Honestly, it's so funny because it's like Zephyr, like for most of the campaign, has like this idea, like, oh my god, I'm in love with Isabel. Well, like him and Blop are actually closer. That would have made more sense. I feel like.
Oh, I never got that. I never got those vibes.
Oh no, not like romantically, but like I don't know, like Zephyr, I guess, was just like so stupid and didn't like think of Isabel as like a person, but like, you know, kind of like Scanlan Pike early vibes. He kind of was just like, ah, yes, you were on this pedestal, and I am just a weirdo around you, I guess.
I never got that.
Not like super weird weirdo. Maybe I'm not explaining myself to the best of my ability.
Honestly, I just kept thinking about Isabel because Arsqueef was.
Oh my god, RP's the biggest shipper.
Dingo was a really big shipper of it too.
Who?
And that's why I never Dingo.
Oh, true.
And that's why I never got like Zop.
Oh no, not like I'm not explaining myself in the best way, but like
even as a like bro TP.
I don't know. There was kind of like I think like out of everyone, like they were like they were like really good, like had like a lot of good bonding moments.
Yeah, they did.
And so like, and like Zephyr was just like, ah, oh, man, I really like Isabel. Let me just be like weird around her for some reason. Let me not try and take too much time to get to know her for some reason. Weirdo. But I think Zephyr is a flawed, shitty person. But that's why I love him. And I'm very sad that I no longer get to play him because he was a fun character to play. There was a lot of ups and downs, and I think in the end he got what he wanted, which was to redeem himself and save his friends. But I would love to see a version where things turn out differently too, because I think that would also be fun.
Yeah. The phrase "for the greater good" came up a lot during that campaign. And let me just say, Isabel was the greatest good that any of y'all were ever gonna get.
True! She was our beautiful panic princess.
And I'm sad to see her go. And I am sad to see that character be sunset. but also I am very glad to be playing something different.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to play a new character in so long in like any system.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I am, it's like, oh my God. This is great. It's like starting a new relationship. You're kind of like in the happy, lovey-dovey honeymoon phase. Which, speaking of new shit, do you want to talk about the new shit?
Absolutely. I think this is a great point to transition. Watch Dragon Knights. Watch those VODs. Give Prairie Star the ad revenue.
Yes. Yes. Watch us at our like our shittiest and funniest, which like despite all
the very first streamed campaign.
Yes. Which
So
was
that
so many
in like 20 years, whenever we're, big and famous role players, which no, that's not.
Or podcasters.
Go back and say, hey, look, that was Cybrwulf1201 and KyleWithAnN's first string campaign. Yeah.
Which we talked about all the dramatic moments, but there were so many funny moments along the way too.
There really were.
So many. Oh my fucking God. But yes. Beautiful.
You're not my dad.
Dad? But yeah, I'm kind of getting low on mine. I almost kind of want to get some more.
So, this segment has been all full of Dragon Knights, but we both need to refill and get more drunk so that we can talk about it a little bit more. So I'll put on another Glitch X City track, and we'll put up the image of...
You remember Kirby the vacuum cleaner from A Brave Little Toaster?
Yes.
That's it.
I love it.
And then also put a picture of like Kirby from Nintendo.
Yes. Yes.
Sober Connor's just gonna be like, oh, God, what the fuck you do?
I don't know what you're talking about. Sober Connor loves this.
I always picture Sober Connor as so tired, so exasperated.
All right, we will be right back. So that's probably it on Dragon Knights, but we're still playing some games that we started off last year, or crap, I don't remember how long Court of the Dragon Quest is going on, but we're also doing some new stuff. So what are we doing in this new year? What new games are we doing? Because I know you just started a game today.
I did. So in the exact same time slot as Dragon Knights, just a week later.
Same bat place.
Exactly. I started a new game and a new system as a new character. So today we started Monster of the Week, which if you're not familiar with that is basically a offshoot of the Powered by the Apocalypse system, which is most, I suppose, famously used in Dungeon World. So yeah, I'm a little too drunk and not experienced enough to explain that system, so look more into it if you're interested. It's very neat, very narrative driven, based off dice rolls, pretty failure heavy, but well, not necessarily failure, but failure to complicated success heavy, which I think works into its very narrative style. But Monster of the Week is an offshoot of that. So rather than being high fantasy, as in D&D, Dungeon World, Pathfinder, all those related games, this system is more like supernatural, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, X-Files,
Yeah.
all that genre where it's basically you are a monster hunter expert, whatever, trying to solve mysteries, and it's it's very interesting and very neat. So and I'm playing with a whole new cast, none of the same people who were in Dragon Knights, but very cool people. Two of them I knew ahead of time from just the connections I've already made in the TTRPG community. So, friend of the channel, R Justice,
Yeah.
yeah, RJ, who plays the Monday night indoor adventure campaign with you.
Oh yes. Oh, I love him. Love him so much.
Yes, our good Raven cleric wizard boy. Um, so I'm excited to be playing in a campaign with him because I think he's awesome in your Monday night campaigns. And another good friend of the channel, Dave, also CCC dash numbers. Oh fuck, I can't remember the numbers, but Dave, as he's known by.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, who was just an awesome loyal watcher of Dragon Knights, um, and like is so involved with Off the Table and all their stuff. Who was just like absolutely great. We've been like planning and gushing about shit before the campaign even started because he's been so excited. So getting to play with him. I'm playing with Cybrwulf, who I hadn't met until today, but is also really great. And of course, Brewery Starter is also great. So it's been a lot of fun. But yeah,
the TTRPG community that we've been involved with thus far is just freaking great.
right people like. Oh my god, who knew that nerds playing games on the internet were so nice? Yeah, um, so with Powered by the Apocalypse games, they have, excuse me, what are known as playbooks, which are basically the characters, the character class you choose from, essentially. I think in Dungeon World it's a little more like playbook and race, and that changes things. But in Monster of the Week, you just have a playbook, and there are many playbooks to choose from that cover all the tropes of weird monster huntery, occulty shit. And I, of course, gravitated to the playbook known as the Flake.
Oh.
The old Frosted Flake, which, to those who are not aware, is basically the most tinfoily conspiracy theorist out there, which is very funny because the other playbooks that are in the campaign I'm playing in now are very much innate supernaturally power based. Like we have an initiate who is part of like a magic supernatural occulty cult. We have a divine who is basically an extraterrestrial celestial being, and we have a monstrous who is basically like a werewolf. And then yes, Abu's in chat. And then we have my flaky boy, who is just a regular ass person with no supernatural powers, except he has a very paranoid, sharp mind that makes all sorts of interesting connections. And he's very different from Zephyr. Very different from Zephyr. So Zephyr was fairly confident, or like he put on a facade of confidence. Charming, smooth talking troublemaker. And we have Lemmy, who's pretty nervous. pretty skittish, very much, definitely a lot smarter than Zephyr was, um, but probably paranoidly so. Not very good with people, but not very good at fighting. But if you want a guy who knows a lot about a lot of shit, yeah, Lemmy's your guy. And that's basically Lemmy, a very very paranoid boy over his head, who his only claim to fame is that he believes he was kidnapped by aliens. And he thinks everything is connected to aliens, even when it probably isn't. Honestly, even after one day has been very fun to RP. But yeah, you saw. I don't think you were there for the whole stream, but you saw a little bit of the game. What did you think?
Uh,
Sucks. Hated it.
so I tuned in a little bit late. I was during the first part of the stream, I went out to go purchase and set up a printer. My tax documents, like a good adult.
Oh, adult stream. Oh.
And then I took a bubble bath.
Bubble bath.
Bubble bath. While listening to y'all. So I never really caught on to most of the stuff that was established during the crap. I forgot what the beginning of a story is called. Exposition. During the exposition.
Yeah, and also too, I think the first session in any sort of Powered by the Apocalypse game is interesting because there's a lot of relationship building that happens before the game actually takes place.
Yeah.
And that's probably what a lot of time was dedicated towards. So I think you missed all that too, which pretty interesting relationships were built.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. This is the first one of your games that I was not a part of that I actually could watch live. So.
Oh yeah. I don't think you could never watch the zombie game live, which is fine.
I had the big boy job that I had to do.
Wow, fake friend going out and making money to survive when you can watch my stream.
I need to do better. I have to be better. But yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I played one Powered by the Apocalypse game.
Was it the one that the TSB ran that we all played together?
No. This was on a Narcissus channel. It is it was a Blades in the Dark game. Like Desert Wanderer with a dog. Looking back now is definitely a very cringy one of my appearances because I this was one of the first appearances that I made as a player of role-playing games, and I decided, oh well, I'm gonna do this pseudo cosplay of the whole thing, and I'll be chugging a bottle of sweet tea, pretending it's whiskey during the whole stream. Honestly, just so cringy.
So I'll link in the description.
You can actually find it in the RPG content playlist on this YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not, then go find my YouTube and then find it there. Because I try to save most of my stuff. Anyway, I played one Powered by the Apocalypse game, and so a lot of the stuff that y'all were doing made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wasn't following the whole narrative. And it's also because this is my first day being back in my being back in my home after traveling the rest of the week. So I was fucking tired.
Yeah, naturally so.
And I was listening to y'all while I was in bed. laying down, trying to restore some of this energy that's quickly fading.
But to kind of go back to your first point, if I may, the thing that I kind of like about Powered by the Apocalypse systems is basically you don't have to pick out what you want to do ahead of time. You just kind of like say what you want to do, and it's the well, not the DM, whatever the name is. I always say
The
DM.
storyteller?
Sorry.
Storyteller?
I'm not sure if that's what they call it in this setting, but I
Game master.
I
Universe.
always say DM because I'm lazy. So it's the DM's job to basically like you're like, oh, I want to do this, and they're the ones that figure out what you need to roll and do it. So you don't have to keep track of all the moves. It's nice to do so, but you don't have to. It's a very narrative-based game, and you don't have to roll dice nearly as much as you do in, say, D&D or other dice heavy systems. It's a lot lighter. Dave was joking because he's also in another Monster of the Week campaign that's streamed over at Katie Faze's channel, which their season 3 just started up. I watched the premiere, and even though I hadn't watched seasons 1 or 2, it was still very interesting and fun.
Friend of the channel, Katie Faze.
Friend of the channel, Katie Faze. My adopted dad.
You're not my dad.
But Katie Faze DMs it over on Off the Table. But yeah, he's like, oh, we barely rolled any dice last season because it's like I said, Power of the Apocalypse is very narrative driven. You can roll dice when you do things that call for it, but other than that, the DM pretty much just sits back. But today was like a little more dice reliant because I think that based on our character backgrounds, because it's the first session, we're still kind of feeling everyone out. But I think this is what's nice about the system is that whenever you do get all felt out, that's weird. Whenever the party gets a good feel of each other, it can get to this more narratively driven story, and maybe you don't need dice as much. But what was my original point?
Points are not the point of let's talk about it.
No points. Let's talk about it.
Let's just talk about it. I do kind of want to go off of your point on a little tangent of my own.
Go off.
You don't roll a lot of dice in your Powered by the Apocalypse game, but like in my last couple of sessions with the Indoor Adventurer, which by the way, lots of wonderful and terrible stuff is happening in our Monday night game on twitch.tv/the Indoor Adventurer.
Subscribe.
You should definitely check it out.
Follow. Watch.
Subscribe, follow, and check out our newly launched merch store.
Merch. Crop top.
You can find a whole bunch of stuff. I may have spent a lot of money getting that merch because I want it.
Did you get a crop top?
I did not get a crop top. I do not have the body to show off a crop top.
Yes, you do. Like, comment, subscribe if you want Connor to get a crop top.
If enough of y'all like, comment, and subscribe, I will get a crop top.
What's the number?
I will determine this at a later date.
Drunk Kylen needs to know now, so sober Kylen can campaign later.
Okay, I'll whisper it in your ear. Fuck shit titty cock.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, you know what? Fine. Fine. We'll figure it out later, but I'm gonna get it to happen. I'll redeem clout tokens.
redeem your schmoonies on twitch.tv/Cybrwulf1201.
Which I did.
So, Indoor Adventurer. Our games over the last couple of sessions, we haven't rolled a whole bunch of dice because, like, we've just, in my opinion, we've been treating it as more of just an improv show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's great. That's what role-playing games are. The dice are just there to tell you if you succeed or fail. But it's just, Kylen is giving a thumbs up right now. But it's just outside of combat, there wasn't a whole lot of need for the dice because, like, the Monday Night Crew on Indoor Adventure, we've been doing this for 5 months now.
God damn.
And we just keep building off of each other, doing stuff the way that we know we have the rapport and the relationships to do. So, like, there's just not a whole lot of dice rolling. It also helps with the fact that we're a good old subdual damage crew. That's not a whole bunch of murder hobos. Excuse me.
Y'all are some good boys and girls.
Blake is not good.
But not a murder hobo.
Sure.
Unless I missed the murder hobo episode.
But it's just like, depending on your group, I guess, even in a D&D or Powered by the Apocalypse group, like, I don't know, maybe there are just sessions where you don't roll a whole bunch of dice. Maybe you just say yes or no and keep building off of that.
Which is totally fair and cool.
It just depends on what works. How many dice you think you roll? I don't know. There's a lot of sessions where, like, I don't know, the DM asks for like a whole bunch of perception checks to, like, if there's a lamp lit in your room.
I think
that's not a thing that's actually happened. I just noticed that there are 2 lamps lit in my room, and that's where my mind went.
Same hat. But no, I think with D&D 5e, I think it's versatile in that way, in which you can be very roll light or you can be roll heavy, depending on the situation. I think with Powered by the Apocalypse, you know, and this is my personal opinion, I think it lends itself more to being roll light. But as a player who mostly plays D&D, I know in my session today I kind of tended towards doing things that were a little more role based, but you don't necessarily have to in those games.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, you don't have to necessarily do in D&D and maybe other games, but you know, I think you do it in more of those games than you do when Powered by the Apocalypse. And there are probably other games out there where hell, maybe you don't even have to roll. But I'm not an expert. This is some drunk person rambling.
Which is the content that you have all expected to come out of this.
You've all expected but hoped for better.
We don't do better here.
We do worse. Let's talk about it.
Maybe in season 2 we'll up our production value.
God, when is season 2?
Like, comment, and subscribe for season 2.
What if, like, we always joke about season 2, but it, like, never happens? Our production quality never gets better. We never improve the content. It's still shitty.
We're gonna have to have a perpetual season 1 now, don't we?
Fuck. We've committed to a joke.
Oh no. So that was the new game that you started today.
Yes.
Today, as in of the time of recording.
Of the time of recording, which if you wanted to go and cross-check and triangulate everything, you would find out when we record these. But shh, podcast secret.
There's still a lot that we're pulling over from last year, like a couple of games that we're playing tomorrow. Two of them.
Well, one game that we're playing tomorrow, one of them got canceled because someone's busy. But one of them we're playing tomorrow.
I did not notice that.
Well, little birdie talked to the DM, who talked to me because I live with the DM. But I suppose they didn't talk to you.
No.
Planning
Shit.
Planning for games is hard, people. But we do have one game tomorrow, which Connor hasn't prepared for.
I have written 40 words.
How many words do you need?
Let's not talk about that.
Nope, can't talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about it, Lore.
Let's talk about it.
I have been running an Emon reskin of Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Yes, put me in that skin.
And we are very close to the end of it.
Oh, so close.
So close.
So close I could nut.
All the players have to do is open the door. But there's some backstory shit that we need to bring into this.
Backstory.
And I've sort of seeded a few of those. And I feel like at least one of the players, specifically the Silent Band, is going to pick up on one of those. And I sort of have to say stuff about that. I'm going completely off book now.
Oh, he's going rogue, baby.
I'm going rogue. So that means I kind of have to prepare a little bit and come up with motivations and, character bases. And I'm sort of written those out now. I've decided on them, and I have them written down on a Word document. So we'll see how those come out tomorrow. But besides that, everything is improv, and I don't know what these players are going to say. I don't know what R-Squeef is going to say.
I'll tell you what R-Squeef is going to say. It's going to say, Connor, why didn't you prep beforehand?
Listen, I deserve this.
Listen. Now see, it's so refreshing because my character has all of her backstory shit out of the way. So now you gotta deal with everyone else's. You got like a little not even smile, it's just a straight line on your face.
I have all my backstory figured out. No, you don't.
DM, please. Well, I have more of my backstory shit squared away than, dare I say, everyone else does.
No, you don't.
Maybe I do. I've at least talked through it.
Yeah, you pretty much got all your backstory stuff out there.
Yes, bitch, I knew it.
I mean, you still have to resolve it.
Yeah, I still have to resolve it, but everything besides the climax has been dealt with. Which, do we want to talk about Soleil?
I am gesturing towards Kylen right now.
Yes, so, hi. I'm Kylen, the person behind Soleil, who is in Eladrin Warlock, Pact of the Archfey. And as the rest of our party members have, well, they, one of them, Crafney, I believe, has semi-recently found out that her pact is with the Lord of the Morncrow, aka Artagan, aka someone we saw in Critical Role. And then the rest of them found out that the whole reason she is on the prime material plane is to get a sword called the Illuminated Blade because she struck a deal with Artigan to save her dryad girlfriend because she is terminally ill because her little tree was poisoned. And he was like, I need the sword to do that, so go and get it, was basically it. And that's the whole reason why she is in Iman, to get a sword. And she finally decided to stop being a shady, impulsive bitch and tell everyone about it.
Too bad not everybody else has decided to stop being a shady, impulsive bitch.
Oh, OT?
That's just the make of your party.
Oh, yeah, what a good, interesting party. Yeah, Soleil is the almost permanently summer Eladrin, hot-headed, not very wise warlock who thinks she is tougher than she is. Then we have, the Avatar.
You know the Avatar?
Like the Avatar, a very good monk boy glide who is too good for his own good. Then we have very mysterious, shady cleric Krevny, whose
backstory is about to come to light.
Whose backstory is about to come to light. We always joke that he's a cult leader, but he resents that. But maybe we'll see more about him. And then we have our very beautiful rogue, Otto, played by Arsqueef, who has a beautiful mustache, and maybe we'll see more of him, more of his backstory too.
And he might fuck a Rakshasa.
He might fuck a Rakshasa.
Yeah, that's a game that we're doing. We're also still playing Horde of the Dragon Queen, which apparently has gotten canceled for tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a last minute thing. But yeah, we are still playing Horde of the Dragon Queen. And I think there are other things on deck whenever Horde of the Dragon Queen finishes, both D&D and beyond. Because we did, I know that TSB is interested in the setting that he ran for our Savage Worlds one shot that we played so recently.
That is important.
Oh my god. First of all,
let's talk about that for a little bit.
Let's talk about it.
Right after I use the restroom real quick.
Do we need to take another break?
I really do.
Oh my god. Our listeners are going to be like, God, this is the most break-riddled episode, but guess what? Get over it. We have to keep getting drunk so you guys are entertained. So, shut up.
You can listen to Glitch X City more. Goodbye.
And put another vacuum.
Woo! Yee, we about to talk about some Deadlands.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
So we're not actually talking about like Deadlands, like the game and the setting. We're talking about Savage Worlds, which is a system that was, if my memory is correct, which it might be wrong, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to correct me. Savage Worlds was kind of based off the Deadlands setting, but was made setting neutral, so it could apply to a lot of settings.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think TSB told me. But yeah, anyways.
So not too long ago, as in like a week ago, Kylen and I both played in a game that was GM'd by TSB, where we played in what would become a Savage Worlds version of Deadlands, like the new Savage Worlds, or just Worlds. I'm not entirely familiar with the history of the system, but we played a game and it turned out pretty good.
Yes, so none of us had played in the Savage World system before, and it was me, Connor, and our friend Deadman.
Friend of the channel, Deadman, 619.
619.
619.
Yes.
Pew, 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 pew.
And then, of course, our DMGM was TSB, who had never played or DM'd before, but he is a masochist and loves challenging himself.
Truly.
So he had a vision in his head that he wanted to do a Weird West game. So for those who aren't familiar with the genre, it is a setting that is in the kind of Wild West era of the U.S., but it's weird because there's magic in a sorts, and maybe like a little more technology, but I think it's mostly leaning towards magic. Is magic and supernatural is the weirdness of it.
Yeah, sort of like a steampunk setting, but with all the political and religious baggage that you get with the American South
Yes. So
during
TSB,
the 1800s.
yes, TSB has had it in his brain for a little while to. He's wanted to run a game in the Weird West, Weird South for a little while now, and it has been shopping around in a sense for systems that he think would be the most applicable for that. And after debating for a while, he kind of landed on Savage Worlds because it is a setting neutral system, and we were guinea pigs to kind of test that out, and it was fun. I will say that, kind of like with all RPGs, character creation and learning the rules was a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those people who learns better by doing than by hearing an explanation of the rules. But once we had created our characters and like kind of learned the rules and kind of started playing, it was a lot easier to pick up. But I really enjoyed the character creation system. I thought it was neat that you could take on what was called hindrances, which would kind of debilitate your character in some ways, but you would get points to spend on other things that could be a boon to your character, such as skills, edges, whatever.
Yeah. Definitely a system that the more you min your character, the more you can max your character.
Yes.
It does provide a lot of really cool flavor to your character.
Yeah. So I went in not knowing what kind of character I wanted to create. I was kind of debating two different options. And then I went with something that wasn't quite either one of the options, but I still wanted to kind of do. So since it was a Weird West setting, I played a Native American girl who had the hindrances of being young, which left me with less access to like skill points and other things that made my character better skilled at things. I was an outsider, which means other NPCs were less likely to want to interact with me and be persuaded by me. And I was also mute, meaning I couldn't talk. And I put that on myself, which was a lot of, it was challenging to roleplay, but it was a lot of fun. And I think I did a pretty good job because I'm good at pantomime. But it was not the character concept that I originally envisioned. Because I don't think anyone, let's say you're playing a system like 5e, D&D 5e, I don't think you envision yourself having so many setbacks like that, and setbacks that have a mechanical aspect to them. But you get inspired by the Savage Worlds source material, and you're like, what if I did that? So you decide to implement that. So I was a young Native American girl who couldn't talk but was very good at sneaking noticing, uh, shooting her bow and arrow. Uh, was was a very good and fun girl.
Yeah. I realized, number one, I was feeling really bad the day that we were playing and rolling characters and stuff, like physically. But I seen that we were playing in a 1800 Southern United States character. I not too long ago I had binged Westworld, and I decided I kind of want to play a madam,
Yes, bitch.
an inspiring madam. And oh my gosh, did I have fun with, I don't even remember the character's name.
Her name was Charlotte
It
something.
is Charlotte Detrice.
Yes.
And she's precious, and she flirts with all of the big bad evil guys. Probably weren't the big bad evil guys.
But with guys that she finds maybe evil.
Yeah. Uh, it was just fun. Like Charlotte had a code of honor and was very attractive, but that also meant that she was like not very intimidating. It was just a really cool, like, I'm gonna play this entirely social character in a world that does not care about social graces.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool because I think without meaning to, is we had another person in our party who played a lot of the tank physical role. We all kind of naturally went to different roles and it worked out really well.
Yeah,
I think we conjured up a backstory that worked really well too.
yeah. You played the Ranger Rogue, Devin played the tank, and I was the face, and we just we made it through. And eventually, we're probably gonna pick this up again and play with the same characters, and I don't know, maybe different characters, and continue our adventures in the weird West and also South.
Now this is my bias speaking, but I would love to see it pick back up with the same characters because I kind of think we hit the nail on the head, and I think we made a party dynamic that worked well together
Yeah,
and fulfilled different roles. And I don't know, I had very good vibes off of that one shot. But you know, one shots can go good or bad. But
yeah.
I had very good vibes off that one shot. So that's my bias. And TSB, you know, if he actually listens to this podcast, which he says he does, this is me saying I would like to see more of that party in that world.
I really like Charlotte Trees. And let me say, I don't want to see her in combat a lot because she is not the sort of character who really would excel in combat. But oh my gosh, I want to see her rule the world.
Yes, yes, Queen. And you know, like when we did have that one combat scene, you didn't really do combat, but you did what you did best.
I
On that
told
role.
the other characters what to do.
Yes.
I am an inspiring leader, which is a an edge that I was not able to get at that point.
But yeah, like I said, everything worked out well. Like I did some chip damage. A dead man did a lot of damage and soaked a lot of damage. And you kind of just told us what to do and made us a little better at dealing damage.
Yeah,
And then out of combat, you know, you had a lot of RP advantages with socializing. I had RP advantages with noticing things. And oh my god. So for those who aren't familiar with the Savage World system, there is something called acing. So anytime you roll a skill, you roll whatever type of die is assigned to that skill, which is anywhere from a D4 to a D12, I think.
Yeah.
D10, D12. I believe it's 12. And then you also roll a D6, which is kind of like your wild card die. And so you roll 2 die whenever you roll for a stat or a skill. And whenever you ace on a die, meaning you get the highest possible number you can on that die, so like a D6, you roll a D6, etc. You get to roll that die again. And I took a shot at something while I was in hiding. Took a shot at one of our enemies, which was a zombie lion. And I swear to God, I cannot believe how this happened. I rolled like 3 aces in a row. I rolled 3 sixes on my D6 in a row and ended up getting 28 maybe damage on what was supposed to be a 2d6 damage roll. So I killed the fuck out of that monster. And
that lion got ganked.
I ganked the lion. And so the way that TSB justified that in the game is I had a little bit of magic powers manifest, which my character didn't know they had before. So if we ever play those characters again in that setting, my character now has some magic powers that I picked up.
Ooh.
Which she doesn't quite know or understand. So yeah. So selfishly, I want to play that game again. Maybe pick up some more people. That would be fun. But definitely play with the same people and the same characters. But that's my bias. But yeah, do you want to talk about some of the new games we're going to be in this year? Because we've had some recently announced games come out that haven't started yet.
I don't actually think mine has been formally announced, but we've been talking about it on our streams and stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll post little spoilers about it right here. Little teasers.
Yeah, well, for those who listen to our podcast, you get all the sexy little tidbits.
Whenever I finally decide to upload it.
10 minutes later.
Yeah, I don't know when your games are starting.
I figured it out. It's February 4th.
Okay. Mine's starting on Thursday.
Yes, bitch.
So I'll talk about it a little bit. So we may have finished Dragon Knights on Pro Restar's channel, but I will be returning on Thursdays starting at the end of the month of January 2019. That's the year. I'll be playing a wee babu, a child. Actually, one of the few characters that I actually had a concept for.
Ooh.
I will be playing a shifter.
Ooh, tea.
In the Forgotten Realms. In
like
a 5e campaign.
Like the canon Forgotten Realms setting?
Yes.
Oh.
Shifters do not exist in the Forgotten Realms.
Now they do.
I mean, the descendants of lycanthropes who abandoned their child do.
Connor, are you gonna play a werewolf?
No, I'm gonna play a shifter.
Is it gonna be remotely werewolf related?
It's 100% gonna be.
God, I would flip my table so bad.
Listen, I've been on a dragon kick for a while. It's about time that it got back into my brand.
Oh my God. You know what I would love? This is a low-key selfish dream, but I would love for us to be in like a Monster Hearts campaign, and we decide to choose what monsters we want to be, and I get to pick before you, and I decide to be the werewolf, and you just have to watch while I be a werewolf while you be something else. God. The satisfaction.
Bitch.
Brand claimed. Oh, okay.
Well, that isn't happening. Add off the table if you really want to make that happen.
At off the table, please let me be a werewolf before Connor. Please, please, let me do it. Let him think outside the box.
Speaking of off the table.
Speaking of off the table, oh my god, bitch. I'm stretching my wings and flying.
Are you?
I'm gonna be on a different channel. A channel I haven't been on before.
Which channel would that be?
Twitch.tv/off_the-table, which features a lot of good friends of the channel, such as Where's My Dingus Dingo, Kitty Face Katie, and Just a Summer Job Summer, and yeah.
Yeah.
Narcissus, Dave, yeah. Good people like that. And yeah, I'm going to be over there starting February 4th, playing in a game with the Narcissus, Dingo, and Katie. Yes, that makes 4 of us. And a system called Alas for the Awful Sea, which is also powered by the Apocalypse system, but its setting is in the 18th century and 18th century. It's very nautically based. Basically, every playbook has to do with a job that you would have on a sailing ship. And what's interesting is you have those playbooks, and then you also have kind of a character descriptor, which is almost like another playbook, which is very interesting. So you get moves from one, and you get moves from the other.
Okay.
And yeah, I have already picked out the character that I'm going to do. I don't know too much about everyone else's characters because we haven't talked about it yet. But to give a slight spoiler, this would be a character that you, Connor, would be somewhat familiar with in another setting.
Uh-huh.
And that's my hint to you. Character was a little reworked, but
Arthberdalian, isn't it?
it's fucking Arthberdalian. No. Yeah, no, that's my hint to you. And if you figure it out, you figure it out. But that was only very recently announced, maybe a week ago. But more content will be coming from that soon. We got some cool little visual surprises coming everyone's way. I'm very excited to be playing with people who I know are such awesome role players.
Yeah.
And in off the table fashion, I'm probably gonna get smooched and probably smooch some people.
Smooching is good.
Smooching is good. And you know, I never get to smooch in game. So that'll be fun and interesting. But yeah, that's nothing more has really been announced about that. So that's why I'm being purposely, shady and vague. But
Yeah.
if you put the pieces of the puzzle together, I'll tell you if you're right or wrong, because no listeners of the podcast will really know about this character.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Okay, well then you'll be pleasantly surprised. But once
Because
you know, you'll be like, oh god damn it, bitch, I knew that.
yeah, I have no idea because I am very very drunk and very tired.
I am drunk. I am sleepy.
So, for the first episode of the new year, we have certainly had a lot to talk about and a lot to drink.
Oh, damn. But true on both accounts.
So, all of the wonderful people, all the wonderful channels that you can find us on right now, you can find linked in the doobly-doo right now.
Oh, so for Connor, you have so much to link.
Twitch.tv/ProRestarter, Twitch.tv/Off the Table, Twitch.tv/Cybrwulf1201, Twitch.tv/KyleWithAnN, as well as Twitters, as well as YouTube's,
Twitch.tv/Indoor Adventure,
Twitch.tv/Indoor Adventure,
Twitch.tv/KatieFace.
Twitch.tv/KatieFace. That's a good one to follow.
That might be everyone we mentioned.
Whole bunch of stuff. Follow all those guys, and also keep an eye on our Twitters and other stuff. Anything else that you want to plug?
No.
All right. Well, I'll call this a successful episode.
You know what? I would agree. We covered a lot of topics today.
And oh my God, do I feel like I need to pass out.
You also need to prepare before our session today.
Shh.
It's all off the cuff.
Goodbye.
Bye, babies. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry, I was just like doing the most elongated, drawn out burp. Did not pick up on the mic. So
Yeah, it was a very long silent burp.